Hello, Ted here from Whole Latte Love. We have the Gaggia Classic Pro in front of me here, and I'm going to go over some cleaning and maintenance tips and tricks that I know. Worked on a bunch of these machines, and we're going to go over on cleaning and maintaining your hot water arm, cleaning and maintaining your filter and filter baskets, your shower screen, and a back flushing that you might want to do every now and then, and a descaling that you definitely want to do.
We're going to get some little expert insider tips here, right ahead?
Yeah, I have a little pointers here and there that I like to explain, and it should help customers prolong the life of their machine and give them more understanding on things. All right, so the first thing that we're going to go over is how you should clean and maintain your steam arm. Every time you froth with the machine, you're going to have milk all over here, depending on how careful or not careful you were about removing it or shutting it off. You always want to wipe down your steam arm after every use when you're done making all of your froth drinks. Just make sure it's nicely wiped down. You might have some milk buildup on the underside of this thing, so make sure you wipe underneath here pretty good, and that'll make it look nice all the time.
And you always want to purge your wand every time after you've been steaming milk.
Yeah,
right?
it's I mean it's an easier way to cool down your boiler, and it also flushes out your steam arm. When you're done steaming, run hot water through it. And then just get water, coming out of the arm after you're done steaming. Once you get a heavy stream of water, then your boiler's cooled down and you flushed out your arm. And you close your knob, and then you can wait for the brew temp to come back up.
And when you're cooling down or flushing out that wand, you press both those switches onto the right?
That's to activate your hot water. So you're going to activate hot water and then open the knob. And you'll get some steam coming out at first because you just got done steaming with it. And eventually you'll get water that comes out after about, I don't know, 20 seconds or so.
Okay.
At the max probably. And then when you have that steady stream, you close the knob and shut the hot water function off.
Okay, we're not showing that because we want to keep it cool because you want to take the tip off.
I'm going to be grabbing the tip, but I don't want to burn my fingers.
All right, so take that tip off.
So another thing you can do, even with wiping this down, is you can take the tip off and make sure this is cool, because that's why I didn't run water through it right now. So if it is hot, just be real careful. I've taken them off before being hot, but I'm really careful about it.
Yeah.
So you have these two tiny holes here that your steam comes out of. Right. And you want to make sure those are clear. Even with the wipe down, every now and then you'll get a buildup of dried milk in there or whatever after you're steaming. I mean, you do the flush, you shouldn't have that much, but if you do get some buildup in there, you're going to want to, the only thing I can suggest is like using a thumbtack, something with a little fine point to it.
Something to get in through those holes.
And you're just going to poke in to that hole, and then you can flush, rinse this off under hot water or warm water in your sink or whatever, and you're just going to want to try to clean it out as much as you can. And make sure that's cleared up.
I notice that's got an O-ring on there. I want to make sure we don't lose that.
Yeah,
right?
It's very rare that's going to come off, but yeah, just make sure that little black O-ring is still on there. So once you get this rinsed off, another thing you can do is before putting that back on, you can run hot water through the arm without the tip on, just to flush out anything that might be in here also.
So maybe show us that real quick, like how you would do that, so you know which, if you're cooling down or just flushing out the arm, which switches we're really going to press here.
So right now my knob is closed.
Yep.
I'm going to activate these two switches. The machine is on right now, and you're going to hear the pump hum, but no water's going to come out anywhere because I'm activating the hot water arm. So now it's pressurized, and I'm just going to run some hot water out of here, and you're probably going to get a little steam. Just open it very slowly, and now we have a nice steady stream of water. Now when you're done steaming and whatnot, you'll have more steam come out first.
Sure.
But once you get a nice steady stream, you can close that knob and then hit both of these switches to turn off the hot water function.
Now it would be possible if you just hit the brew switch in the center there to get water out of there, but you're also going to get water out of the group if you do that.
Yeah, well, when you hit these two switches, it opens up the solenoid, or it doesn't open the solenoid valve and allows water to come out here.
So a little less mess doing it that way.
Yes.
All right.
So doing that, replace your tip and just keep it wiped down, and you should be good to go on your steam arm. The main thing is to make sure the tip holes are cleaned out. It's a little warm. If you do have a problem getting the tip off, if like it's stuck or something like that, you can use a cloth and like try to grip it that way. I tend to use a pair of pliers with the cloth so I don't gouge the tip.
Sure.
Because sometimes those can get a little stuck.
Okay.
All right. All right, now we're going to discuss how to clean your filter basket and filter holder. You want to make sure you do this quite often because, I mean, that's what brews your coffee. So on a daily, after you're done using it for the day, you want to remove the basket and rinse that off in warm water. You can use what's called a Portafilter removal tool. I use a flat blade screwdriver that you can just wedge in here and twist and pop. Same thing with this Portafilter removal tool. It goes in and then you push down like that and it helps pop the basket out. And sometimes you'll have to work around it, but most times you can do it with your fingers.
Now yours is pretty darn clean there, but I've seen some nasty ones.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few where these are all caked up and barely have anything going through them. So you want to take this off daily, rinse it off, wash it off under warm water in your sink, try to clean it up as much as you can. If you find that it's still being a problem after that, you're going to want to do another step that you can do is what's boiling your baskets. You want boiling water, and then you take your baskets, not your portafilter. You don't want to throw that in there because it'll be a pain in the butt to get it out. But you want to just throw your baskets in the boiling water for 10 minutes. Take them, you know, dump them out into a sink or whatever, cool them off with the water, wash them off, check them, and you can, you know, look through the basket.
Make sure your holes
and see all the little holes, and you can see there's a couple of them that might be a little blocked there, here and there. But that'll help clear out those holes. Now, if you've neglected to do that, or if you're having more of a buildup than usual, or whatever it may be, and you want to clean these baskets and clean the portafilter, you can use products. We have products, the Gaggia cleaning tablets, and there's also Caffiza.
Caffiza is what the pros use.
Yeah, we use Caffiza a lot at the workbench in our cleaning station for, you know, cleaning coffee off of stuff when we send machines out after we get done repairing them. But you can also use the tablets. But in this situation, we're going to show how to use Caffiza. I have a bowl of warm water right here, right now. Caffiza, this is about a 1 liter bowl or whatever. You will need 6 grams of Caffiza in your water.
It's about a tablespoon.
Yeah, it's about a tablespoon. Or you can get one of these brushes with the scoop on the end of them.
Yeah, Ernex makes that.
Yep.
Nice scoop.
It's a nice little handy tool to help you clean the group head and measure things out with.
And it's about 3 scoops for 6 grams.
Yep, this is about a 2 ounce scoop, or 2 gram scoop, I'm sorry. Yeah. So you'll need 3 of these with the Caffiza in a 1 liter bowl of water.
You already measured it out.
We already measured one out. So you got about a tablespoon there, and we're gonna dump that in, and you're just gonna mix it around, kind of get it dissolved. We're not gonna wait for it in the video, but you would dissolve it up, and then you're gonna take your portafilter and you're just gonna stick it in the water, take your basket, stick it in the water, and then you're gonna let it soak for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you take it out, and then you're gonna take it over to your sink and rinse off your baskets and your portafilter. Get them rinsed off as much as you can. Now, they do recommend when you're using these products, after you even rinse them off, put the basket back into your portafilter, put it in the machine, but don't put any coffee in it, and then just run some hot water through it from the machine like you're running a shot of coffee.
And the Caffiza is amazing at getting off the coffee oils. It really does a great job.
Yeah, it does a really good job. I use it a lot at my workbench to clean things up as I'm working on machines because it's easier to clean some components while you're got it apart.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how you're going to want to maintain and clean your portafilter, and it should help, you know, brew coffees a lot better for you if you're having problems. All right, now we're going to go into how to maintain the shower screen. Now, most cases you will be able to just wipe it out with a cloth. You'll get ground builds up on the screen from, you know, when you remove your portafilter, and that'll help, you know, keep that a little bit. But eventually over time what'll happen is some buildup will happen behind the screen that you're not seeing. So you're going to want to maintain the screen from time to time, and we're going to use Caffiza here. I have a bowl already here. We were demonstrating the portafilter cleaning. We're not going to change that. This is a little bit excessive for the shower screen, but if you have like a coffee mug, you can use like 1 scoop of this in a coffee mug with, you know, warm to hot water. Drop it in there. Let the screen soak for about 30 minutes, or you can use a tablet, because if you use the tablet to do your portafilter cleaning, you can use the same stuff for your shower screen. Okay. So you're gonna use a stubby Phillips screwdriver. You're gonna get underneath here real quick on the shower screen screw, and we're gonna back that screw out. And if you have a problem getting this screw out, we have another video on how to remove stubborn shower screens and screws if it's stuck for you. So we're going to take that, we're going to set our screw off to the side, don't lose it.
Oh, we've got an aftermarket.
Yeah, this is an aftermarket shower screen. This is
might look a little different.
A nanotech screen.
Yep.
Normal ones that come in the machines are a lot more laser holes and have a different look to them. But you'll, especially on the manufacturing screen, you'll have a lot of buildup on the screen.
That you don't see because it's behind it.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
And the one way to tell is if you hold it up to the light, you can see all the holes. If you have a lot of blockages in your holes, then you're going to have poor flow coming through your portafilter. So if there's a lot of buildup in here, you can use a wire brush and try to get it clean, but on the back side, but better off is to just drop it in the Caffiza water. So you can let it soak in that Caffiza water for like 30 minutes, take it out, rinse it off. You can use a scrubby or something on the back side of that. That'll help loosen up anything that might be packed in on the back side of the screen from coffee residue and whatnot. And then you get it cleaned off.
That Caffiza is amazing. I mean, it really. I've seen some really nasty looking stuff, and a good soak in that really.
Oh yeah, I've seen some stuff. So yeah, once you get that soaked, you get it cleaned off. You can put it back in. But while it's soaking, you can take a group head cleaning brush of some sort. This is one from Ernex. It's a nice long handle. It's got angle on it. It makes it easy to scrub in here. It's also got a little measuring scoop in case you need to, like, for cleaning products and whatnot. So it makes it real handy.
You use it for backflushing for measuring that out too. So we'll get to that later.
Yep. So you can actually use the Caffiza water that you have the screen soaking in, and you can just go up in here and get up behind this group head plate around where your portafilter locks in, because that's usually where a lot of the coffee residue gets built up. And just kind of scrub around here and get that cleaned out. You can scrub the shower plate right here that the screen goes against, because you want to do that every now and then also.
You got that one's nice and clean, and that's not what it's going to look like if you've been using your machine for a while. And,
unfortunately I don't have one to show you what it looks like if you don't do the cleaning.
Well, that's because you take really good care of your equipment.
So scrub that down while that's soaking, and then when it's done, rinse that off, and then put your screen back in. And to flush out the group head, put your portafilter in with no coffee grounds, and just run some water through it, and it'll flush out the group head from any of the Caffiza that was up in there. And then that'll help you clean and maintain your shower screen. All right, in this part of the video, we're going to talk about backflushing your Gaggia Classic and how to do it. One of the things you want to make sure is that your blowdown tube is attached to your machine, because when we do this process, you're going to be blowing a lot of water down through there, so you don't want it spraying everywhere. So you're going to want to remove your basket that you're using, and you're going to want to install what's called a backflush disc. Now, these do not come with the Gaggia Classic Pros, so you're going to have to order one of these. And then you're also going to probably want to order some Caffiza that we use for the backflushing process. So I use a screwdriver, a little fine point screwdriver here, flat one, to pop it. Or you can buy one of these portafilter removal tools, and it goes underneath the lip here like this, and you just pry up against the tab, and it helps you pop the basket out. So we're going to set that off to the side, and we're going to put our backflush disc in here like that. And then we're going to take our Caffiza and our scoop, which Ernex has this really handy brush with a scoop on the end of it. This really helps for cleaning the group head. We're going to get 1 scoop of this, which is about 2 grams. And I'm going to fight with the brush for a moment.
If you don't have the scoop, you can kind of guesstimate in there, if you're a little too much, but I mean, there's a good look, right?
Yeah, it's just a little tiny sand pile, basically. And then all you got to do now is take your portafilter, and you're going to put it in the machine as if you were going to brew it, and you're going to lock the portafilter in. Now, we're going to do the brew button. We're going to activate it, let it build pressure, and have it hold there for 2 to 5 seconds, somewhere around that area. And then we're going to turn it off. And we're going to do that 5 times. So we got 1, pressurized, let it run for a couple seconds. And you're going to see when I hit the button, it's going to release some nice foamy water out of here. We're going to do it again, and we'll continue this 3 more times after this.
So you can kind of hear that pressure, the pump change, right? And
the pump initially sounds a little like normal when you first kick it on. But then when it builds pressure, it quiets down because it's trying to move water and it can't. That's 4.
I think it's 3.
It could have been 3. We'll go with 3. So we got one more, and you can see all this nice sudsy water. We're getting a nice cleaning through the shower screen into the drain here. And this is going to clean any oils or coffee residue off the back of the screen, the shower plate a little bit, and anything to the blowdown tube. And our last one.
If you leave those oils in there a long time, they go rancid, affect your coffee flavor, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to do this, depending on your usage. You know, once a week if you're a heavy user, once a month if you're a light user. It all depends. So we're going to dump this out. I'm going to rinse that off.
And it's kind of just repeat what we did, right?
Yeah. I'm going to actually just run a little bit of water here first. Just get it flushed out a little bit more. And now we're just basically rinsing out the Caffiza that we just ran through the group head. So we're going to do the same thing. And you're eventually going to see not sudsy water coming through here. You got a little bit there. You're going to do it about 4 more times here. And if you want, you can do it more, or you can run a blank shot. If you want to really make sure that it's rinsed out, it's starting to clear up already.
Yeah, you can really see now that
number 3
comes out. Yeah, almost
and
clear.
4. Yeah, it's definitely clearing up. And we'll run it one more time. Now, if you want, like I said, you can run it more, or you can run a blank shot after this, and that will clear it up even more if you feel that there's some more, you know, chemical in there or whatever. But now if I remove this portafilter, it should be pretty clean, actually.
No more suds in there.
No more suds. So that is how you backflush a Gaggia Classic Pro. Okay, this last portion of the maintenance and stuff on the Gaggia Classic Pro is the most important one, in my opinion. It's to descale your Gaggia Classic. And if you don't descale your machine as often as you should, you'll end up with a bunch of scale inside the boiler. This one's a good example. I've seen worse. This one's on a borderline clean or not clean, or just replace it. Actually, this one got replaced because that's why I have it, because of the pitting that was caused from the scale. But you can see all these little chunks in here. I think if I just tap it on the counter, you might see some of that debris fall off. What happens when that kind of scale builds up in there and it's tipped up like this, it sits down in the group head, and as you're trying to use your machine to brew, some of that scale gets into the solenoid valve and causes it to plug up, which will prevent your water flow to your group head. So you want to just really make sure that you descale your machine as often as you should. And the manual says every 2 months. I say based on your usage and your water source. The higher mineral content in your water, you're probably going to want to descale it more often. If you have a really good filtration system, you might be able to get away with it for 5 or 6 months. I've seen machines on my workbench for 10 years old with no scale in them. This one was after 6 months.
So it all depends on your water hardness. If you got hard water, you really got to filter it or be descaling it on a regular.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's very important. It'll help prolong the machine and prevent any major problems from happening down the road.
And scale really is the #1 issue. So this is easy. It's like changing the oil in your car.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and do a descale on this. You're going to want to use Gaggia Descaler. You need half a bottle and a full tank of water to the max line. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to pull our blowdown tube out. And we don't need the machine on at the moment. You're not supposed to have it on. You're supposed to have it cooled off. This one's been on. We'll just play along with it. Move the tank out of the way. And we already pretty much have a full tank of water set up ahead of time, just guesstimated. I'm going to put about half of this in here, just guesstimating. It's pretty close. We'll just do another squeeze. And that's about half the bottle. And then we're going to fill it up the rest of the way to the max line. And that's close enough.
Okay.
So now we're going to seat this back in here. And you can, probably do it through the funnel if you want. I always pull the tank out when I do this, and you just got to be real careful about putting it back in because your tank is full and you can slosh some water around. as I kind of did there a little bit. So I'm gonna wipe that up real quick. Put the tray in. Now we're going to start the descale process. Now the first step you want to do is you're going to want to run 2 cups of water through the machine. And then after that, turn the machine off. So we're going to go ahead and do that. This is a cup. So we're going to run 2 cups of water through here. We're going to turn the machine on. We're going to open the knob and turn the valve on for hot water.
Both switches.
Yep.
Okay. And so descaling, you always want to run all the water through the wand.
Yes, don't ever run it through the group head on the descale process on this machine, because if you have scale buildup in there, you're just going to run it through the solenoid valve before it's broke up and cleaned out. And that's just going to cause it to plug up. And we got a cup of water there. I'm going to shut this off real quick and dump it. Now, if you have a 2-cup measuring cup, that's a lot easier. Yeah. I have one at my bench, so I don't have to do this. But we'll run the 2 cups of water through here, and you might not see heat or steam coming out of it because you're supposed to do it from a cold start. We've had the machine on, so it's a little hot. And you just do this for the 2 cups, and after that, we're going to shut the machine off and close the knob. So we're at 2 cups. We're going to turn everything off. Now at this point, you're going to let the machine sit for 20 minutes. And what that's going to do is the descale solution is going to break up and dissolve any of the scale that's in your boiler on your walls. Hopefully it's not built up this bad, because if you do this as you're supposed to, it won't get like this.
It won't get like that. Even if you've got the hard water, you should be okay.
And that'll help flush it out a lot easier and prevent blockages also. If you get to this point, you're probably going to end up needing to do the boiler tear down or sending it in for repair so we can get it cleaned up or replaced.
And we have a video for that.
We do have a video for that.
Okay.
So we're, let it sit for 20 minutes. We let it sit for 20 minutes. We're going to pretend that. I'm not going to stand here and So after 20 minutes, you're going to run 2 more cups of water through it. We're going to turn it on, open the knob, and activate the hot water again. We're going to run 2 cups through it. Da 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 da. We're going to pretend, because this will take a long time if I wait for it every time.
Yeah.
2 cups of water, dump it, let it sit for 3 minutes.
3 minutes now.
3 minutes now. Basically, we're just kind of like removing a lot of the breakup that happened on the initial 20 minutes. And now if there's anything left over on the walls, this is going to help remove the scale and get it more flushed out.
So 20 minutes the first time.
20 minutes the first time. 3 minutes after that, every 2 cups.
Okay.
And we're going to keep doing that 2 cup, 3 minute, 2 cup, 3 minute until your water tank is empty.
Okay.
And I'm not going to show you that either, but
you get the idea.
First one, 2 cups, 20-minute wait. Then 2 cup, 3 minute, 2 cup, 3 minute, 2 cup, 3 minute. I don't know how many times that's going to happen before it empties, but do it until it gets emptied. And then after that, you're going to want to take your tank out. And it should be empty. And then you're going to rinse out your tank really good. Do a handful of times. Make sure you get all that descale solution that might be on your tank out of there. And then you're going to fill the tank. Mind you, this is cold water. I had it on hot by accident. But you're going to fill your tank up to the max line again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to flush the system out. And that's close enough there. I'm going to come over here and put the tank back in. Make sure you're careful because I can feel the heat off the roof right now on my hand. And make sure your hose drops in because sometimes that sticks up. And now we're going to flush the system. And what we're going to do is we're going to run, you're probably, depending on the container that you're using to dispense water, you're going to have to stop this numerous times. So you can empty that. I have a bigger container at my bench so I can run a whole tank and not worry about it. But you're going to want to run this whole tank of water. You're going to open up and turn the machine on, open the knob, and just run that full tank of water.
And you could, I guess, if you get that close enough to a sink, just let it run right into your sink or something.
Yeah, you can do that. One other thing I do is we have rubber tube.
And run it over?
And that I can hook on there and just run it over to the sink. So if you have that option, you can try it. Just make sure it seats onto that steam arm really well.
Because we need to run a lot of water through this thing, right?
Yeah, especially on the rinsing part of it, because you want to make sure you get all that descale solution out of there. And at the same time, you're making sure you flush out any loose descale that's in your boiler. That's why it's very important not to run it through your group head.
Right.
Because it'll go through that solenoid valve and plug it up.
So there's a very narrow passage in that, and
yeah.
through the steam wand, it's a pretty straight shot.
So you're gonna do this 4 times. You're gonna flush the machine out with 4 full tanks of water, and that will clear everything out, and you shouldn't have anything left in there to cause a blockage in your machine. So just keep doing this. Like I said, if you have a bigger container, you won't have to stop it as much as I do. As you see, I'm turning it off every time also that I empty this, because I'm trying to prevent it from getting too hot. So I'm gonna open that and start the pump up again and turn the machine on. And we're about half tank right now. So just keep doing that. Once your tank is empty, fill it back up again, come back, empty it out, do that 3 more times after your initial rinse tank, and then after that you can just run a blank shot, make sure there's nothing left in like the solenoid valve area, something like that. Just run a blank shot through your basket, flush that out, and then you're good to go to start brewing after that.
All right, Ted. Well, thanks for taking us through the descaling here and all the other things earlier in the video where we did all the maintenance on the Gaggia Classic Pro.
Yep, you're welcome.